We are live. Hello, social cafe community. Whoever's watching, because we haven't announced where to watch.
Hello, everyone, if anyone's out there.
We'll be shortly. We'll give a link.
It will be here.
And tonight on Social Cafe
Twitter
Chat, we... Oh. I'm sorry. And we are talking about Instagram. And with that, I point to you two ladies as like the expert on Instagram. Weren't we starting to talk about this last week?
Yeah, we did a little bit. But I think we were going to be delving in. Well, we have been so far in the chat talking a bit about what images people respond to well, and definitely looks like food, of course, is a big one. I've noticed fitness, fashion, beauty pictures are pretty good on my timeline. What else have you guys found that people gravitate towards? I know, Gail, you don't use Instagram, but what have you found that people gravitate towards on Instagram?
Well, I can't really say Instagram, but everywhere else, what they like is something that's cute or colorful. Like on Twitter, for example, landscapes are really popular. Cute little animals are always popular.
Oh, yeah.
I would think entertaining. Think, is that something you would send your friends? If the answer is yes, that's probably what you want to share.
That's a good point. Well, it depends on who your friends are, though. What are you going to know?
Well, yeah, but there's some things that are so cute that the ones you'd send to your friends.
That's true. Yeah, I was thinking the dogs and kittens. People love puppies and kittens. I mean, those do so well on Instagram.
Yeah, any kind of animal.
So I think that's kind of funny.
That's what goes hot on Twitter. In fact, now you can use Twitter to figure out what will be popular by clicking on that button at the top. It says pound discover. You'll see what's actually getting the most interaction because they stick it on that discover place.
Yeah, no, you know what's funny though? I did a giveaway for Your Life After 25, and it was like the whole thing was doing this thing for glamour shots, and I didn't realize how many people use the glamour shot hashtag for their pet pictures. It's so funny to me.
Seriously?
Yeah, like, yes, people, like, you'll look on the glamour shot hashtag, and there's like all these like dogs with like funny poses or cats with funny poses. It was so funny to me.
Well, and animals dressed up, and animals doing tricks.
Some of them.
Yeah, and really colorful landscapes are very popular, at least on Twitter. You know, if you go and just click on that discover thing sometime, and you'll see that it's mostly really bright photographs. And I suspect that the same things that are hot there would be popular on Instagram, except of course you need square instead of twice as wide as they are tall.
Yeah, I would say
You would say what?
that's the thing with understanding like of the difference in the audience on Instagram versus Twitter versus like a Pinterest. So there's definitely like a difference in the kind of images you're gonna see on Instagram.
Okay, tell us how, because I haven't ever seen Instagram, so you have to tell me, what do you think?
Yeah, like, well, the Instagram crowd is still a lot younger. I would say a lot of the people who were on Facebook that used to think Facebook was cool have kind of gravitated away from Facebook, and now they use Instagram. And so there can be the difference in the pictures that you're going to see on Instagram is a lot younger than what you would see on Pinterest, which Pinterest is still catering to the moms, the crafty people, the people who like to cook and recipes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of a difference, a slight bit of a difference in the material that you can find on Instagram. It's still very young. in what I've seen. Would you agree, Deborah?
I think so. I was in a like a lifestyle blogger group for a while. I still am. I'm just not quite as active because I'm technically not really a lifestyle blogger, but I love lifestyle bloggers. So, but I saw a lot of mommy blogger activity there, and some really. But of course, it was really cute. You know, the kittens and the kids and the everything was cute.
Right. Yeah, it's even Instagram is changing because now, like you said, a lot more of the mom bloggers and things like that are hopping onto Instagram and paying attention to that. It was really funny because back when Instagram didn't have video, Vine was big.
Did mine hang or did hers hang?
No. I think it's Da Vinci's end. I was just trying to see if I could like freeze along with her.
You know what? It was funny. I saw your face the whole time I was talking, frozen, and I'm like, well, I hope they can hear me.
No, I was just having fun with it and see if I could.
That's so funny. And I was like watching. I'm like, oh, this could be so weird. I can't see what the other side can see. But yeah, so I mean, it's just really cool to see how each social network is changing. But to answer your question, I think question number 3 was what size images, and I know that we did cover this a little bit last week. Like I said, like a good 650, between 600 and 650 by 600 and 650, or 650. Square images are perfect for Instagram. So that way you can make sure you have everything in the image that you want once you load it into your Instagram.
That's what I was trying to remember from last week. I didn't know if, Gail, it was you, or if it was you, Da Vinci, that gave the perfect image size for Instagram. Or maybe, Gail, you were sharing the perfect for Twitter, which is...
Right, yeah. Twitter is 880 by 440, and Da Vinci told us that Instagram was 600 by 600, or 650 by 650. It has to be square. So Instagram is square, and Twitter is twice as wide as it is tall.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Here we are. So, Deborah, what images have you seen that have been most successful on your Instagram?
I've done better, like, with the quotes. But again, similar to what you guys are mentioning, I use a lot of Michael's photos, the seaside photographs, so it makes sense that they're a lot of, like, landscape type things. And then I put little quotes over them. So those have done fairly well.
Okay, that's always cool. Yeah, the quotes are always good. I mean, you can go to Instagram and get a good day's worth of inspiration.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know, but it's almost because with Twitter, like you have to read, but it's kind of like with Instagram, you get a visual with it. I'm a very visual person, and I love to tweet. Don't get me wrong, but when the visual is there and you see something like a nice inspirational picture to match the message, I don't know, I think that can kind of change your day or perk you up a little bit more. So that's cool. And then, like Gail was saying last week, because we are so visual, this is why you would want to translate that same kind of thinking to Twitter when you use it. Like, try to incorporate more pictures into your Twitter feed when you can.
That was brilliant advice.
Well, people don't realize that there are so few tweets that have photos that if your tweet has a photo, the odds are that it's going to get shared. It's definitely going to get seen. Especially the more people follow. Like, I've got 52,000 followers, and I probably follow 40-some thousand of them only because some of them aren't active anymore. So I unfollow the inactive ones. But so I've got 40-some thousand people's shares flying by, and I hardly ever see many of them. But if there's a picture in it, I'm very likely to see it. And if I see it and I like it, I'm very likely to share it. And so you could increase your chances from 1 in 40,000 to 1 in 2, probably.
Right.
On Twitter. Now, eventually, everybody will share photos on Twitter, so the time to do that is right now.
Now is now. at this moment. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go share an image right now. No, I'm just kidding. But but I agree with you. Sharing pictures, I definitely do that. I did this promotion for a restaurant week in Atlanta, and I made all these Twitter-ready images, and they had the information for restaurant week on the side, and people shared those like crazy. They loved them.
Were they your images? Because your images are just, we said this last
I
week,
had
you can eat them.
Well, they were food images that I took at the restaurants because it was for restaurant week in Atlanta, and they definitely, I took them with my DSLR, so they were really, really good. Actually, speaking of wonderful images, I think I'm going to tweet an image of these ribs I made the other day. I really should have had a party this weekend. I should have had a party this weekend. I realized that. I started giving away all this food to my neighbors, but I made baby back ribs, meatballs, mango salsa.
Oh, come on.
Truffles.
It's all over. It's all over. We can't concentrate on tweeting or talking when you're talking about food.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but I was like, I should have just had a party and just had everybody bring like to-go plates, because I was cooking like all weekend, and I made chocolate covered strawberries earlier today, and what else did I make? Oh, I made dessert pizza.
We should have mentioned food. Food is the #1 thing I think would be super popular.
Yeah.
You can combine pets and food and really be popular. But anything...
Sorry, as long as the pet's not the food, that would not be a good thing.
Anything
chocolate, yes, no.
Or that peach pie you had the other day, or any kind of desserts. For me, it's the desserts that I think desserts would be highly popular.
Yeah. We should do that in the Hangout. Like, have Da Vinci do all the really hard work, and then Gail, you and I can like hold up, like, here's my apple, here's my orange, and then there's all the really complicated stuff.
And here's like Da Vinci's. I did actually. I tweeted I made these brownie bars a while back, and I tweeted an Instagram image of that. It's on the Pocket Sous Chef.
Hey, and your brownies are just brownies. I'm sorry, I was watching The Bones on Hulu Plus, and the episode with the marijuana and the joke about the brownies. So now it's like running through. But you promised that your recipe is just brownie, right?
Yes, it's not herbal. It's just a brownie.
Okay, the brownie is just a brownie.
It's just a brownie.
Herbs are not herbal. The kind of herbs you're talking about. There's lots of other herbs that,
Right. Right, that could go in there. No, you know what? Just thinking about, so much chocolate that I've had over the last couple of days. So much chocolate. But it's been good, though, because, like I said, having neighbors to share the food with. Over this whole process with the cookbook, I thought that I was going to gain weight, because even though I cook on a regular basis, this is a different level of cooking. Like, I'm cooking every day. And usually in my regular lifestyle, I cook about 3 to 4 times a week. But now it's 7 days a week, multiple things daily that I'm making. So I thought I was gonna gain some weight, and I lost 2 pounds. So hey.
Oh, cool. I was gonna say,
really,
more vegetables, less desserts, and you probably won't gain weight.
Oh well, I just thought, I'm like, well, this is different than this is just more than I'm used to. But I have a really high metabolism, and I eat a lot of food. Actually, if you look at Your Life After 25 on Instagram, it probably looks like all I do is eat food all day.
And she does. No. Just kidding.
No, it's so funny, though, because I had readers actually reach out to me and say, hey, we want you to put more pictures of yourself out there. People requested more pictures of me. So I'm like, okay, I really, really need to get on top of my selfie game, or just take more pictures of myself when I'm out and about. So I'm going to be actively making sure that people can see me, because they're like, we love the food. Don't more. It's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I still have to take pictures of food too. Yesterday I was at the Atlanta Open's going on this week, and I was at the tennis match, and then of course I had to take pictures of the food that they had available at the match, and I put those on Instagram too. And people that got regrammed a couple of times actually, so that was a popular post on Instagram. Deborah, I'm trying to see what you're reading.
I'm typing about you. Sorry.
Yes, she's sending tweets about you not eating all day. That you were good for the cookbook.
See, of course, I don't eat not all day.
All right, now this kind of we have this huge discussion going on LinkedIn about what to do with all the zucchini, and so it's zucchini time. You should have pictures of what to do with all the zucchini.
Oh, that's true.
I love zucchini.
I do too.
Yeah, but after a while, it produces so much that you either have to make bread, or you have to turn it into pasta, or you give it away. There's actually this is a joke, but it's actually a true story. That in some locations you can't leave your car unlocked because when you come back, it'll be full of yellow squash and zucchini.
That's quite possible.
I believe it.
That's quite possible. I can see that happening.
Okay, who has a picture of that? Because I would love to see that on Instagram.
What, somebody sticking them in your car?
Exactly. I wonder if I can try that in New York. Can I leave my car unlocked and see if anyone if anyone from New York is watching this? I
probably
dare
don't want
to.
Probably don't want to do that. Probably don't want to put that invitation out there, Deborah.
All right. The alarm will be going off. It's like, what is that? Oh, it's another zucchini. Oh, it's a squash. Oh, it's a...
That reminds you of that. Did you hear about the joke one time they had a strike during Christmas time and people would they would gift wrap their garbage and put it in their back window and people would steal it?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Strike.
That can get really disgusting. I can think of some garbage that...
Yeah, I'll put it in a plastic container first. I don't know.
Okay, all right, there we go. I'll remember that. Do it in a car that you don't care about the car.
Crazy. Yeah, you have to because I mean that's I can't even imagine the smell.
The zucchini or the bad garbage? Which
the bad garbage.
Okay.
No.
With fresh garbage, not old garbage, you see.
Either way, just in the heat, in the warmth of the car.
Yeah, that's true.
It's no longer fresh. There's nothing fresh about garbage.
How warm could it get in December in New York?
Oh, that's a good point. That is pretty cold.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? Well, yeah. I'm trying to think. Wait, how long have you been? Well, no, you really haven't had like a good winter there yet.
I was told that I had a good winter. I came on the 31st, and they said it was like the worst winter they've had for years. I'm like, I guess that's my fault. I came here, and somehow it was the coldest it's ever been.
You brought the winter with you.
Exactly. I don't know how I brought it from the west, but whatever it was pretty cold. Very welcoming.
They're looking to send you back at this point.
Exactly. I think that's where they're walking around going.
You know, New York is a beautiful place.
Yes, it is a very beautiful place, and it has very beautiful people.
No, I love it there. I do love it there. Yeah, I love it there to shop and to visit, but it's a little too fast for me.
Which part? Where I'm at in the northern or New York City?
New York City.
Okay, because here it's not that fast. Just, I mean, not calling all you guys, it's not slow, but it's not like Los Angeles. But then I haven't been to New York City yet in this trip, so.
Wow, really? Okay. Really? No, New York City is fast. My family also lived in Staten Island, so it's a little slower in Staten Island, which was cool, but it's still not it's still not really where, I don't know, I guess I need that middle ground. And so.
You're Atlanta. You're an Atlanta girl.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm an Atlanta girl for sure because when I lived in Tampa, Tampa was good. It was beautiful, sun, beaches. That's the only thing I miss all the time. I miss the beach. But then you go to like Miami, and to me, Miami is like the southern New York City, in
Southern New
my
York City.
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
in
good
my
to know.
opinion. Yeah, to me, it's pretty much like being in New York City, but in the South. And then I think if I was to go somewhere, I would probably be good in LA if I had to leave
LA is
Atlanta.
wonderful.
Yeah, see, there you're like, of course.
But you know, I'm not prejudiced about anything else, but I'm prejudiced about the city of Los Angeles and all the surrounding areas. I just love it.
Yeah.
To say.
Yeah, I think that would be a good city for me. I mean, I have a friend out there right now. He's trying to get me out there. You know, he's like, you would love it here. He claims, and I hope this is okay to say, he claims he thinks that LA is probably the city with the least unplanned pregnancies because there's no time.
Everybody's sitting on the freeway.
That's true. That's true.
Out of Southern California to get away from the traffic that was nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
He said people are too busy.
In LA, I would sit down out by Riverside and Bloomington and Pomona and Paris and Rancho Cucamonga and Rancho California.
Yeah, he says there's no time because everybody's busy all the time. He said, I think that might be why they hire prostitutes, so they can plan that too. I was just cracking up, like.
Although, you know, there is enough time and space to change on the 405 freeway, but I don't think there's enough to make a family on the 405 while you're driving. I've done the changing, but I haven't tried the other.
There you go, see? There you go. No, he just cracks me up, though. Oh, wait, hold on, let me see if we're missing anything in here. All right, let's see. Yeah, you know what, something I did mention, because as far as things that we use for Instagram, something I love to do on Instagram is do announcements. Because we do have the picture or the video capability. So sometimes I'll like to do like a mini announcement or kind of give like a bit of lead time on something that we're going to do on Your Life After 25 and let people know. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I was like, announcement.
Yeah, so I'll say, hey guys.
Tweet after tweet?
I know, right? No,
here's
like
your morning announcements.
Announcements.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not like your morning announcements. No, like a quick thing. Just say, hey guys, we're going to do this, this, and that. And just like a quick announcement, and it gets people excited, and you let them know, hey, this and that is coming. It's good if you can put a link in there or something that call to action, obviously. Something that's visual, and then it's also auditory, too, so they can pick that up. So that's another way that you can use your Instagram images or videos, by the way.
Excellent.
But I know that we have that series coming soon. I know the video series will be very helpful because there's still people still have a little bit of trouble understanding how to effectively use their Instagram videos, their Vine videos, and etc., etc.
Well, do people mostly only see Instagram and Vine instantly? Like, if you share it, then they see it if they're on, and if they're not on, they'll never see it?
Yes and no.
Or is it depend on how many people they follow, and then if they don't follow very many, they'll see your stuff most of the time?
Yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. It depends on how many people they follow, but I mean, it's on like your timeline sort of thing, so you can scroll through, and then if you see it, then you can see it. So it's kind of like Twitter. Yeah,
so they can scroll through a lot. They'll see it.
Yeah.
So have you thought about like trying to send out announcements to come to the Twitter chat?
You could do it that way. It just depends on your audience, because my audience for the Twitter chat is, I don't really use Instagram for the blog workshop. I use Instagram for Your Life After 25 and Pocket Sous Chef. That goes back into the audiences that are on each. But sometimes I'll send it out. If I do cross promotion, it might be something that I try, but I have the brands, and sometimes I keep some of that stuff separate from each other. And then sometimes I cross-promote. Deborah, you know you're on mute just in case.
Yep. I thought I was on mute, but I'm like, I'm asking for a tissue over here, and the screen changed to the ad, and I'm like, okay, wait, did that just come across? Like, well, that's right. I might as well just acknowledge I asked for a tissue. But thank you. But that's a great idea.
I probably should have. I probably should have messaged her that privately.
No, I was trying to be on mute, so I didn't yell across the world that I needed a tissue, but then I put it back on camera, and Mike's beautiful arm showed up anyway, so it wasn't real private.
No worries. There is no shame in needing a tissue.
I think I was on an interview where it was like, hold on a moment, and I don't remember who it was, but he was a well enough known person, and I just said, go ahead and talk. And then I came back, he's like, I told him, and he says, you did that just to go blow your nose? It's like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I've never done that, but I couldn't do it.
No, I totally get that, though. But you know what? I mean, this is so much more. This is laid back. This is like, we get to have a cocktail or two, and, you know, just kind of hang out with each other. So, yes, if you need a tissue, you can let us know you need a tissue.
For some reason, that reminds me of, what were we watching? It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers. My kids are watching something on YouTube, which is like, went from I don't know how far back all the way, okay, that's totally random, but if you want to apply that somehow to Instagram, Mr. Rogers on Instagram. You know what? He probably would have used Instagram if he were still around. The sweater versus the suit.
That's what I was just about to say. I bet he would have had. You know that they have the cat that was on that show has his own show.
I'm thinking Dr. Seuss, but that's probably not the cat that you're.
So he has like
the cat. I don't remember.
It's like an animated version.
Garfield?
No. Yeah, no, there was a cat in Mr. Rogers. No, there was a cat in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Who
my goodness!
Now he has his own.
I don't remember a cat.
Yeah, and he wears his own sweater and everything.
Oh, a cat with a sweater. Okay, it's been too long.
By the way, I only noticed this because I was with Bailey, my niece, and she was watching, and I'm like, whoa, the cat has his own show.
Okay, I gotta go on YouTube and check.
Yes.
Okay, so
he
the
has his own show. She's looking at me like, duh. What are you talking about? Of course. Says the 3-year-old.
Well, did you know that at the same time that social Cafe is on Twitter, there is another Twitter chat for weddings called Wed Bar, and they're talking about Instagram right now. The trend on Instagram is pictures with hashtags displayed
That's hilarious.
Yeah, multiple plasma TVs displayed at a wedding. So they have like big TVs, and then people like Instagram pictures onto the TVs during the wedding, or I guess at the reception, I would think. I don't know.
Cool idea.
Yeah, that is really cool. I've seen that. I mean, they've done it like at some conferences. Everybody ties in a hashtag. When I was at what was it? It was a financial conference in Atlanta, and they had everybody tie into one hashtag, and they had it on big screen TVs, so everybody who was coming in, you could see the different images. But I think they had somebody on there filtering.
Okay.
So I was just thinking about how messy that could get.
All of a sudden it gets spam, and you've got
but it was really cool.
Selfies and everything else.
Right, I just was like, everything else that comes across Twitter, because there can be some things. I mean, sometimes I'll look at Twitter and I'm like, whoa, where did this come from? This is so like I get scared to click on certain hashtags because I'm just not sure what's going to pop up. The same thing on Instagram.
And they don't even have, on Twitter, there is no choice. Like, if you want to report something, there is nothing that coincides with, I just don't want to look at somebody's you-know-what. there's not a there's nothing you can pick, right? It says, are they a spammer, or none of them say, I just like prefer not to see that kind of stuff.
I don't want to see their hoo-ha.
Yeah, they don't have that. And a lot of young people too, they don't get it. I'd really rather not see your behind all the time with no clothes. Why you want to share that, I don't know, but I don't want to see it.
The younger people have a different culture and set of rules for what they find acceptable.
Well, yes and no. There was a big controversy on Instagram, I think it was, where this woman was writing about losing weight. And so she had pictures of her, in this case, of her behind, but to show that how she was losing weight. And her stuff was taken down, but as long as they were young and pretty, things far more risque were left up. And that hit some of the blogs and got talked about. That it was only taken down because she wasn't, like, model thin.
They got to have the same rules across the board, though.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is that as far as young people go, because like I said, the audience on Instagram is still a lot younger. Their understanding and kind of their values and what they deem acceptable is a lot different than what we would have seen as acceptable. There are certain things that they're just kind of so desensitized to. They don't see the big deal in posting a picture with their behinds all out on there. They just don't see the big deal of any of that stuff.
Their sense of art, foam finger, da-da-da, is different than maybe some other people's. And yet, even within artwork, I remember the first time that where'd we go? I don't know if it was LACMA, Los Angeles Museum, and it was like, my kids are like, oh my goodness, that lady that's a naked lady, and yet that was considered art. It was like a Dali exhibit or something. So I mean, even that, people could say, well, that's not what we accept, or so many different views and perspectives.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, I mean, that's something to think about, and it's kind of something to understand as, like I said, each social network makes its shift. Just understanding what the newer audiences, if that's something that you're tapping into, what they like and what they do, they're attracted to, what they find acceptable, what they don't find acceptable. Because if you have a mixed audience, then you have to find that middle ground on how to reach both, right?
That's a good point. It comes back to your business objective, as far as even if you're 18 and you have no problem with tweeting, pictures of backsides, if your target audience is 40-year-olds, let's think again. Right,
exactly. So, and then the funny thing is with the big marijuana debate and all of the different states kind of figuring out if they want to legalize it or not legalize it. That's another thing that's kind of making its rounds a little bit more on social media. You're able to see different pictures of that now. So
very interesting. Go ahead, Gail.
I think that's a bad idea, because you might move from a state where it's legal to a state where it's not, or you might want to change careers or jobs, and the person hiring you might take offense. I mean, it is hypocritical, I have to admit. In fact, I've had arguments with people over how hypocritical it was. I actually knew a couple of guys, they were bragging about what they did when they were in college, but laughing at people that were serving time for doing the same thing. Well, that really doesn't make any sense. And if you were smart, you wouldn't be bragging about doing it, right, since it is not legal. So I think that social media lives forever. People need to realize that it may seem like fun right now with your friends, but it is going to come back to haunt you later on. So if you choose to do things, try not to make it a permanent record of you doing it.
Exactly. Do you guys hear about, I wish I knew what website now, I don't know if it was MSN or where, but the gal that went in and she had shoplifted, I think, a few times at this one boutique store or whatever, and she went home and she took a selfie of herself wearing the clothes with the items, and it was a very unique dress. Right. And I guess they had like a picture on the security camera, so the store posted it on their Facebook, and then people had seen the selfie on Facebook, and so they linked it together, and the cops were able to go arrest her. It's like, don't take a selfie.
I just don't understand people. I mean, it's so crazy because social media has done so much police work for the police these days, because people really have this need to post everything and every aspect of their lives, and it just ties them up not only with the authorities but your insurance companies and your bosses and everything you do. When you put everything out there, you leave yourself open to foolishness.
Exactly.
You know, so, and I mean, obviously you shouldn't be shoplifting, but I'm just saying, like,
Don't put the selfie on.
I'm just saying, you don't have to put everything about your life on social media. Some things need to be kept for yourself, and then the same thing with parents putting all of their children's pictures out there. You have no clue who's seeing them.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. Yes.
So it's just something to think about. That, you know, social media has its positives. Like anything, there's positives and there are negatives. So it's just, you have to be conscious when you use your social media.
Exactly. Well, with that, thank you everybody for joining another Social Cafe Twitter chat every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, in this case, Daylight Time. And just say it, Da Vinci. And thank you for joining the Social Cafe Hangout. Join us again next week as we talk about images again.
Yay! We're talking about Twitter images, right? Next week? Or which one?
Sounds good. Da Vinci has said it, so therefore it is.
Oh, yes, there we go. So much power, so little time.
Exactly.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.